Hello, it's Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and today is Friday, August 18, 2023. And today I'm asking the question, what causes long COVID? But first, I want to give my condolences and sympathy, and you have my prayers and donations to the people of Maui who have suffered such a tragedy and just unimaginable loss. But back to long COVID, I want to say that this is an evolving knowledge base. 1 year from today, the knowledge may be vastly different. Right now, researchers have more questions than answers. But one thing is known for sure about long COVID. You can't get it unless you've had infection with the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Now, long COVID is a number of diseases. It affects people in different ways. It's not a single disease. Affects many organs. It has a toll that bears consequences on your emotional health, physical health, social, and your economic well-being. So what causes long COVID? Well, researchers have suggested different pathways. But folks, the bottom line is you have chronic inflammation. Now, about these different hypotheses around causes for long COVID, according to this Harvard Medical School research article that I'm going to share the link. One is viral persistence, and I talked about that on August 16th. Another one is reactivation of dormant infections, like reactivation of dormant EBV, that virus, that Epstein-Barr virus that causes mononucleosis. Another hypothesis is that there's dysregulation of the gut. You have leaky gut, and gut microbes are seeping into the bloodstream and leading to immune activation and chronic inflammation. Another hypothesis is that there's microclot formation and platelet dysfunction, that you get these tiny clots on the cells that line the blood vessels, and it causes inflammation. Another one is that the virus triggers autoimmune diseases or conditions that mimic autoimmune diseases. Another hypothesis is that there's direct damage to our cells from the virus. So people, for example, that have lost their sense of smell. It could be due to direct virus damage to the olfactory cells that line the nose, or people who've had myocarditis or pericarditis, inflammation of the heart lining and the heart muscles, could be from direct damage to the heart cells from the virus. The virus is known to damage kidney and destroy lung cells as well. Another hypothesis is that there's persistent immunologic dysregulation, where there's alteration in the immune cells and the immune proteins for months after SARS-CoV-2 infection. Now, this wasn't in the Harvard Medical School article, but recently there has been research that shows there's evidence of mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, the mitochondria are those organs in the cells that produce the energy. So there's been a recent paper that talks about that. So what does this all mean? It just means that long COVID is quite heterogeneous. There are different mechanisms that cause this syndrome in different people. And the bottom line is it's unlikely there will be a one-size-fits-all or even a one-size-fits-most kind of treatment for long COVID. Now, I get it. People are frustrated that have long COVID because, the science they feel has been too slow. But you have to understand long COVID at the molecular level before you can develop therapies. You have to have biological markers before you can develop diagnostic lab tests. And you have to know how to measure responses to the treatments that are given. I've heard the saying that the best defense is a good offense. I know it's hard to avoid getting infected with COVID, but some people have had 4, 5, and 6 infections. We have to realize this virus is here to stay, and the best way to avoid long COVID is to avoid getting COVID infection and reinfection in the first place. Now, there is some literature that says the newer Omicron subvariants cause less long COVID than the original and the Alpha and the Delta virus strains, for example. Now, some papers say there's less risk, while the others say there's no change in risk of long COVID from the new Omicron subvariant. So I guess the verdict, we'll just have to wait and see. But for me personally, I'm going to keep listening to Ben Franklin, where he said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's easier to stop something from happening in the first place than to repair the damage after it's happened. So I'm sticking to my prevention strategies. That's my message today. I hope it helps those who are suffering with long COVID. Keep your hope up and know that, there will be some progress made. That's my message. Take care, folks. Be safe.